the recent spot fixing allegations have brought forth the ugly side of not just cricket, but the society that we are living in. Corruption, it stems from greed, and as we all know, that greed cuts across all sections of society. And unfortunately, corruption happens to be the sad reality of our lives. Well, while it's impossible to really eradicate this menace completely, because you will still have cheats, you cannot really pinpoint everything. It's impossible to sanitize the entire tournament or the country or the sport. But then measures should be taken to ensure that you minimize the damage. And I think what happened last year in the IPL or outside the IPL when five cricketers were banned for dealing or renegotiating contracts. One guy was actually banned for life because he agreed to overstep in a league game somewhere, albeit not in the IPL. But that was a strong enough indication to set the house in order. Start with educating players, mentoring players, telling them the do's and don'ts and the consequences and the repercussions. And that's exactly what is happening in the UK right now. Every single first class cricketer playing in the county circuit has been spoken to. Two officials, no, not just from the anti-corruption unit, but also from the National Drug Abuse or NADA or WADA, as we call it here in England. They visit every single county. They speak to them in a group. Then also they have one-on-one sessions with players, addressing all the issues, informing them about the perils of social media these days, Twitter, Facebook, what kind of people you should be meeting and dealing with. And that brings me to the other point, agents. I think there are far too many dubious agents doing the rounds in India at this point in time because these agents who manage sportsmen or cricketers, this whole industry is very disorganized. And when that's the case, you get dubious characters who are always lurking in the background, looking for that right moment to just pounce on their prey. And unfortunately, these some of the uncapped Indian cricketers who come from humble backgrounds, not enough exposure or education, and maybe not enough big enough hopes or goals, they tend to be those easy prey. So you need to really set this house in order, get the agents to be registered with the BCCI so that you know which player is dealing with whom, and also the credentials of that agent. Last but not the least, I think a very strong punishment has to be meted out to people who are found guilty, and that is the strongest deterrent. What we have done in the past, or what we have seen that has happened in the past, is that people who were found guilty, they actually, I won't say they went away scot free, but then we tend to forget and forgive corruption in India very easily. Some of them are actually sitting in the parliament. Some of them are actually cricket experts, coaches, and whatever else. So if we are going to legitimize the guilty, then everyone who's getting into this murky world knows that legitimacy is only a few years away. So I think these three things need to be done: educate the players, tell them the do's and don'ts, register all your agents, and last but not the least, in fact, the most important thing, severe punishments that should work as a deterrent.